it's this amazing moment where we're like, actually, women are stronger together. You you murdered this one, Lysandra. It'll make you feel good. He deserves it. He may have done me wrong plenty of times, but he's done a different kind of wrong too. And women support women. It's definitely a turning point in their relationship. Instead of seeing each other as competitors, they start seeing each other as allies and the absolute girl bosses of Lysandra and Aelin are iconic. What's funny is in spite of it all, as she's up on this roof, Aelin's got funny feelings about it. No, Arabin raised her. He's kind of been her only family for a really long time, and she hates him and loves him. It's weird. It's messy. He's been so mentally abusive to her. It's really hard to fully shake off those shackles. Rowan joins her up on the roof, and she tries it on with him for the first time, and he's having none of it. And it's like, what? No! Why? He's like, do not touch me in that way. And your heart breaks a little bit because they're obviously meant to be together. Rowan just doesn't realize it yet. Obviously, during the night, Lysandra's in bed with Arabin and she stabs him to death. Iconic. And in the morning, word gets round, Arabin's dead. So Aelin, Rowan, and Aegeon all head to the keep. Okay, they're going to have to settle Arabin's estate. It is incredibly awkward between Aelin and Rowan after he brushed her off the night before. It actually hurts me to think about. I mean, it's conflict. It's good conflict, but it's painful. Now, Arabin's like, top 3 men are all trying to figure out what happened. And Aelin's like, let me go see the room. And it's a bloody mess. There's blood everywhere. Lysandra was like, full psycho. Iconic. So when the banker arrives to tell everybody what's happened with Arabin's estate, turns out he's left everything to Aelin. Which is not a coincidence, because let's just say, we don't have to go through all the details, but there have definitely been some shenanigans going on with Aelin and the bank and everything to do with Arabin's estate, because Homegirl was getting that money. Okay, after all he's put her through, after him killing Sam, Homegirl was getting that money. She literally screws everyone else over. It's brilliant. The 3 men, they're like, please let us buy the keep off of you. Like we want to have this building. And she's like, okay, you got 3 hours to get the money. Otherwise, this house is mine. Now, Aelin, Rowan, and Aegeon go and see Arabin's body. And that's when she tells them, like, guys, I switched out the will. Just to make sure that Arabin is 100% dead, she literally decapitates him with her sword. It's not enough for you to die once, Arabin. You have to die at least twice. And Aelin's still being really off with Rowan, as she should be. Man brushed her off, and he is fighting his feelings for her. He's seen her in that gold nightdress, guys. Sorry, for context. She asked Rowan what his favourite colour was, and he was like, gold. And she's got this gold nightie, and he's just laying in bed like... One of the best moments in that series. Now, Aelin, Chaol, Aegeon, and Rowan follow a tip to go down into the catacombs under where the old Shadow Market was, and they find a temple made of bones and all of the confessions of sinners. They discover that there is this ultimate Valg somewhere called Erwin, and they believe that the king is hiding him in the mountains of Morath. They also find what it is they were actually looking for, which is this material called Hellfire, a hella good explosive. Think that green stuff in Game of Thrones. Like, it's gonna do damage. They re-hide it until it's necessary, because this squad are gonna blow up the clock tower. They figured that's one of the 3 points of the triangle that's subduing magic across the continent. Ezrin joins the group and tells them news about Morath and lets them know that over there, the king is building an army of dark soldiers, wyverns and witches. I wonder where Manon is during this book. Lorcan appears out of nowhere at this point with a knife to Aelin's throat. He demands to know where the 3rd weird key is. And he reveals that Brannon's ring, the one that Aelin gave to Maeve in exchange for Rowan in the last book, is more than just like a sentimental ring from a previous lover. Brennan's ring actually grants a person immunity from the Valg's powers. Why would Maeve want to be immune to the Valg's mind control? Either way, it doesn't matter, because Lorcan is willing to trade said ring for the weird key. Now, Rowan admits that seeing Lorcan with his knife to Aelin's throat really, really spooks him. And the two of them admit, okay, they want to be together, but maybe they should wait until they're like completely alone. Because, they are like sharing an apartment with Adian at this point. They literally barely have a minute of peace. We then get the first, I guess, important plot point involving my little sweetheart, Evangeline. Look how she lights up the sky. Anywho, little Evangeline is like Lysandra being trained up to be a courtesan, but Lysandra has gouged this girl's face. Like she's got scars on either cheek. And Lysandra's done it so that no one will want to buy Evangeline. She's saved her from the life of being a professional schmex worker. So Evangeline treats Lysandra like her mum. She rushes to Aylin's apartment to let them know the king has kidnapped Lysandra because Arabin's will specifically mentioned Lysandra's bloodline being that of a shapeshifter. Hale and Nesrin come in with the additional news that the king is traveling to the Altwald Forest to meet with the leader of his Wyvern cavalry. Who might that be? Let's get caught up on what's been happening over in Marath with my governor. So Manon, all of the witches and their wyverns have been stationed in Marath for the last few weeks, awaiting orders from the king that are going to come via, guess who? Duke Perrington from book 1. Coltane Rompier is there with him, but girl is not okay. She's like a puppet. Girl been treated bad. Now, the witches are all getting restless. They've learned to fly. They're ready to go. They want instruction. Duke Perrington gives Manon an ultimatum and insists that she choose a clan of witches to be, and it's really gross to say, impregnated by the Valg, are actually descended from Valg. They've got compatible blood. So they want to start experimenting with some of the witches. Now, Manon 100% does not want this to happen, right? But Manon is also very aware, A, that her grandmother expects her to just make a decision straight off the bat, no flinching. And that the likelihood is, if Manon doesn't make a decision, she doesn't want eyes on her girls. And because of everything that's happened before, she's like, yeah, yellow legs. Go deal with the yellow legs. Don't like them. Asterin, who, is pretty much Manon's conscience, is like, babe, what the hell? Like, that was cold. That's bad. I can't believe you didn't kick up a fuss. And because she does it in front of other people, Manon demotes her. And hearts around the world break because those two, they shouldn't be fighting. Okay, they shouldn't be fighting. Poor Astrid gets demoted and she's all upset. And it's not fair because Manon's got all this pressure on her and Astrid just doesn't understand. But then Astrid is in the right, It's a complicated issue. Manon notices that the girl who comes in and cleans her room is sneaky, sneaky. It turns out this young girl, I say young girl, same age as Alim, happens to be a lead. You might be thinking, Christy, you've never mentioned a lead before because she's not been in the story before. We find out that a lead is the heir to a place called Paramph in Terrason because she is a lady and she grew up. Guess where? Oh, in Terrason. Guess with who? With Adian and Aelin. They were childhood friends. But Elid's mother was actually with Aelin when the Terrason royal family was attacked. Elid's mum saved Aelin, BT dubs. It's a whole thing. And Elid was left in the care of her evil, evil uncle. She broke her leg as a child and was never allowed to seek medical attention for it. So she's crippled. And is being treated as a slave while all of these witches kind of like invade Marath and Duke Perrington's being evil. Girl is like Cinderella. And she catches Manon's attention. Okay, Manon sees potential. Like this little sneaky, sneaky girly. And she cuts her and licks her blood and's like, yeah, I'm right. There's some witch in you. Turns out Elid's mom had a little bit of like witch blood in her. Obviously descended from a line of witches. And Manon's like, well, I'm in charge of a coven of witches. What color does your blood run? Is it blue? Is it witch's blood? Do you want to be one of us? Do you want to be in the gang? Because, I'll look after my girls. I won't let anyone hurt my girls. This is the start of such a good friendship. Manon and Elliot. We love. It also shows us, look, Manon's not evil. Okay, she's nice. She is good. And even Astrid gets to see Manon take a lead under her wing and's impressed. At this point, one of the clans within the Yellow Legs come forwards and said, yeah, actually, we're cool with doing this Valg experimentation. So Manon's like, okay, cool. There you go. It's this lot. You can have them. And at the same time, Elid's like, do you know what? Yeah. I actively choose to identify as a witch. I would like to join Team Manon, please. Which is iconic. We love that for a lead. Now, time passes, and Manon raises an issue with Duke Parrington. She hasn't seen those Yellow Legs that put themselves forward for the experiment for quite a while. She also sees Coltane being ordered to use her shadow fire, this like Valg magic, to torture a soldier with. You know, Manon's like, what else is going on here? This is really weird. This is shady. And the Duke reveals that Manon's grandmother's basically working with him and the King of Ardlin to make weapons. And Manon's like, I'm not 100% sure. I agree with some of the stuff that is going on here. So she grabs a lead and's like, babe, I need you to figure out what's going on with the Yellow Legs girls. Where are my witch sisters? Okay, they're not in my clan. They're not in my coven. But I want to know what's going on with them. Are they okay? And she makes the promise, like, if you go down and do this, you are 100% in. So a lead takes some laundry down into the dungeons and is like, oh, oops, gone into the wrong place, and finds out that the witches have given birth once. And they are pregnant or like being made pregnant by these Valg monsters again. Are literally like chained to tables. And oh, it's really, really bleak. It's really, really bad. You also find Dorian's cousin down there. He's been possessed by a demon and he asks to die. It's, let's say, of the entire series, this is a real low point. Not like from, oh no, people are dying, because there's plenty of those low points, but more in a, this makes me feel physically ill. As a woman, this whole scenario really, really bothers me. Now, when what's happening to the Yellow Legs comes out amongst the 13, Manon refuses to help them. Because Manon is aware if those girls aren't down in the dungeons, her 13 will be. Okay, and if it's a choice of us or them, Manon's going to pick her girls every single time. But Astrid cannot stand that. Astrid's like, Manon, you are so much more powerful than you know. Why won't you help? Like, you should at least try. You should do something. That's what a leader does. You are a leader. You're a leader. You're better than this. And Astrid gets demoted a second time. Like, girl is beaten back down into submission by Manon. Like, no, you are not in charge. Because she's spinning multiple plates. Manon's got a lot going on. Manon does not need Astrid being like, this is wrong. Manon's like, shove your morals. I need to protect my friends. Now, Elide shares the fact that she does actually know Aelin Galathynius, so they were friends as kids with the group, and that she has hope. She has hope that Aelin's still alive. So at this point, the lot of Morath, they've not heard about the fight over in Wendlin. Elide is surviving on a hope and a prayer, trapped in this awful place that's now overrun by witches, going, I really, really hope my friend Aelin's still alive and that one day she'll come and save me. And Elide has been slowly stealing supplies from the kitchens and things like that. She's planning her own escape. Girl may not be, you know, the best at walking and stuff, but she's gonna give it a go. She's gonna try. Now, the Duke and Elide's horrible Uncle Vernon comment on that they want more witches to be impregnated by the Valgs. They want more of these monsters made, and this time they want them from the Blackbeaks. They want Manon's girls, because the Blackbeaks are the strongest of the clans. Yellow Legs are fine, but now we want the quality stuff, and Manon's like, okay, this is line in the sand time. You also get to see Coltane's new shadow magic get used again, but it's quite clear she's fighting back. Coltane does not want to be possessed by the demon that's inside her. And you're watching it like, come on, Coltane. Like, I don't like you, but babe, please, fight back. At this point, we're pretty much caught up with each other. So we are building towards one of the best, well, several, in fact, of the best scenes of the whole series. Go fight, go fight, go fight. So Aelin and all her group, they're following the king, who is heading to Oakwold Forest, and he's got Lysandra with him. The witches are there at the Old World Forest waiting to meet the king. And like everyone sees the size of the wyverns. And even Aylin's lot are like, ooh, they got dragons, damn. Now Manon and her grandmother arrive. Manon's grandmother's like, you keep your mouth shut while we're here, which I don't like. Do not like that at all. Now, Lysandra's in a prison wagon and she gets brought in as the king arrives and everything. While they're all in this clearing, witches one side, King of Ardland with Lysandra trapped in a cage in the other, Dorian, who's obviously there with his dad, with his collar on or possessed, his eyes, where do they go? Who is he looking straight at? My girl Manon. And what's so funny, you're getting Manon's thoughts. She's like, that would be a very attractive man if he didn't have that collar on and he looked a little bit less depressed right now. Like, instant attraction on both sides. Now, even for Manon, like meeting the King of Ardland, she is like, this is evil. Like, he is evil. She does not want to bow down to a man like that. I mean, they're a matriarchal system as well. And she's like, I literally eat men for dinner. I do not like you. And of course, because she is the way she is, she's mouthy. Yeah, she answers back. And the king loves that. He loves her superior attitude. She's acting like she's better than everyone else is, because she is. One of the iconic things about Manon Blackbeak is she has golden eyes, which come, I believe, from a line of like Valg royalty. They at least show that she is better than the other witches, just from a biological sense. And even the Valg, when they see her gold eyes, they freak out. Like, she's a big deal. Period. The king asks Manon's grandma, like, can I see the weapon you've been making for me? I'm very impressed by your amazingly powerful granddaughter. And they make Manon stay behind, which is such an amazing shot, because it means we get the first truly, truly iconic Manorian scene. Because, as I've said, the Valg, they freak out when they see Manon's golden eyes, including the Valg that is inside Dorian. Like, the demon that's in Dorian's head is like, get the F away! Run away now! She's got golden eyes! She's got golden eyes! Run! Run! Which means Dorian takes over control a little bit. So when Manon asks him his name, he can answer her as Dorian. Literally just being in her presence allows him a little bit more control. And I swear to God, the flanter here, the Riz, the pure, unadulterated Dorian Haviliard Riz. So we've seen hints of it. We've seen light touches. But when he sees Manon and he is like, oh yeah, I'ma whip it all out for this girl. And it's so funny because he has like a couple of minutes, sans demon in his head. What does he spend it doing? Flirting with the witch. And it's brilliant because they have the hello princeling, hello witchling dialogue. And it's like, oh, it's so sharp it could cut glass. We love it. It's such a different dynamic than any of the other couples have in this series. One of my faves. Now, when the King of Ardland comes back, the demon takes back control, but Dorian can remember Manon's name. Remember, when the demon's in his head, he can barely remember his own name, but he remembers Manon. You bet he does. Now, while everyone's focused on the witches and what's going on, Aelin manages to break Lysandra out of her cage, and Chaol whisks Lysandra away into the woods. And as the royal group are all splitting up down below, Aelin and Adian see Manon's grandma smack her across the face. Because Manon's pleading her case about what's going on in Marath, the way that the witches are being treated, and Manon's grandma doesn't want to hear anything about it. Now, Chaol's kind of gotten on board with the idea that Dorian's gone, okay? There is just a demon, and so he goes to try and mercy kill Dorian, but the 13 are there. Rowan manages to track Chaol down purely by scent. Manon, who's obviously there with the 13 at this point, is hella surprised to see Rowan, okay? She's not seen a fae in donks. And she recognizes immediately, oh, didn't realize we'd be fighting fae. Damn, if they've got fae on this side, we might be in trouble. So she's like, okay, we'll give Chaol back. I don't want any prisoners. Just go. Be gone. I've got other stuff to be dealing with. Which we love. Okay, Manon's rising above. Unfortunately, while Manon is trying to rise above, Aelin's philosophy is when they go low, I go lower. The 13 had Chaol in their grasp, and they give him back. They don't even really hurt him. They're like, yeah, whatever. Take him. F off. Be gone. But we've got scary, rapey monsters to deal with. Aelin just does not keep her mouth shut. And she goes, oh, yeah, great. That makes you smarter than Baba Yellowlegs. You know, Baba Yellowlegs, who she killed in book 2. Baba Yellowlegs, the leader of the Yellowlegs clan, who's someone like Manon, another royal member of an Iron Teeth clan, is morally obliged to avenge if given the opportunity. So obviously all of the witches go to attack them, but Aelin manages to construct like a magical wall using like some weird marks and Chaos blood in the ground, and the group leg it because now they've got a group of witches after them.